As we have already talked about in the previous video, phrasal verbs are a very common and a very important part of spoken English. Today we are going to learn some very commonly used phrasal verbs. Let's start with the word tolerate. Now, tolerate means to allow someone or something, even if it's not very pleasant. Just let it be. For example, I'm not going to tolerate their smoking any longer. I'm not going to tolerate their smoking any longer. But if you use the phrasal verb of tolerate, that will be put up with. So you can say it in a sentence like, I'm not going to put up with their smoking any longer. I'm not going to put up with their smoking any longer. Now, tolerate has another phrasal verb, that is bear with, and it means exactly the same. In fact, you can use them interchangeably. Usually bear with is used in case of positive sentences, when something is not as dire as it seems. It means to be patient with someone or something. Sometimes when there are situations that you don't like but you are still empathetic to it, you can use bear with. For example, let's say your neighbors are quite noisy. It's a little bit bothering for you, but you can bear with it. But if you say that you can't put up with something, it means that you are agitated by it, you're angry at it, it makes you mad. For example, I can't put up with his behavior anymore. I can't put up with his behavior anymore. It means that a person is behaving a certain way and it's making you mad, it's making you angry, and you can't tolerate it any longer. So you will be saying that you can't put up with this man's behavior anymore. In fact, let's take another example. Let's say a person is sick and because of this they can't speak very loud. They are speaking very slowly and you can't really understand them. So you'd have to bear with them, right? You'd have to bear with them. It's not negative. It's not something you can do anything about. So you just have to bear with it. And it's a little bit bothering, but it's okay, right? It's nobody's fault. I mean, it's definitely inconvenient, but you understand their problem. Now, I understand that this is not much of a difference between bear with and put up with, but I just thought you should know. Let's move on to the next word, which is cancel. Now, it means exactly what it says, that is to cancel. And its phrasal verb is call off. For example, let's say the party is cancelled. The party is cancelled. So you can use the phrasal verb and say it like the party was called off. The party was called off. Or you can say, for example, we had to cancel the meeting. You can say it like we had to call off the meeting. But instead of cancelling the party or the meeting, whatever event that is, let's say you just postpone it, So sometime on a later date, you can rearrange it. So for that word, that is postpone, the phrasal verb is put off. Instead of saying the party was postponed until Saturday, you can also say the party was put off until Saturday. Let's take another instance. Let's say I don't like to postpone things for tomorrow. I don't like to postpone things for tomorrow. You can also say it like I don't like to put off things for tomorrow. I don't like to put off things for tomorrow. Now the next phrasal verb we have is avail oneself of. Avail oneself of. Now I use the word oneself in between avail and of because that's the format of this phrasal verb. In fact, there always has to be a self pronoun in between these two words. Otherwise, it will be considered wrong. Now, it means to take advantage of something, to benefit from something or make use of something. For example, there is no reason not to avail yourself of the available resources. There is no reason not to avail yourself of the available resources. Or let's take another example. Let's say you should always avail yourself of the free information. You should always avail yourself of the free information. It basically means that if some information or some resources are available to you and you need them, there is absolutely no reason to not use them, to not benefit from them. Now the last phrasal verb for today is look forward to. Now look forward to means to happily or eagerly wait for something. There is a future event and you are quite excited about it. So basically you can say that I'm looking forward to it or I look forward to it. Now let's take an example. I look forward to seeing you. I look forward to seeing you. Or let's say I look forward to the festivals. I look forward to the festivals. Or maybe you are looking forward to watching a movie. Now from these examples, I'm sure you could figure it yourself, but if you haven't, then I must tell you that look forward to always take an ing verb after it. Like I look forward to seeing you or I look forward to watching that movie. If it has a verb after it, it has to be in the ing form. So that's it for today, guys. In this video we talked about some phrasal verbs and how to use them in sentences. So if you think you liked this video or it was worth your time, then do give it a like and subscribe to my channel. Again, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.